Welcome back to the video lecture. In this video, we are going to discuss about declaration of arrays. In the previous video, we discussed what is an array, what are the different types of array, what are the advantages, disadvantages, and so on. In this video, we will see how to declare an array. Arrays are used to store multiple values in a single variable instead of declaring separate variables for each value. That is the main advantage of array. So instead of having more number of variables, we will have only one variable. Under one variable, we are having so many values. So C provides two types of array. One is fixed length array and variable length array. In fixed length array, the array size is fixed at the compile time. So we are giving the size of the array in the program itself. The variable length array, the memory locations will be more or less. So the memory, contiguous memory will be increased or decreased based on the number of values. So it is variable, we cannot fix it. It is based on the value stored in the array, especially at the runtime. To create an array, define the data type like integer, float, character, or double long integer, and so on, and specify the name of the array followed by square brackets. So this is the syntax. Specify the size of array within the square brackets, and this is the syntax of array. In this way, the array is declared: first data type, array name, followed by array size within the square bracket. Where data type can be integer, float, double, and character, array name should be a valid variable name. Array size is an integer value. Okay, it should not be a negative integer, it should always be a positive integer. So how to declare an array? Example, float, mark, and 5. Float is the data type, mark is the array name, and 5 is the number of elements which is contained in the array. Here we declared an array mark floating point type, and its size is 5, meaning it can hold up to 5 floating point values. So how to access the array elements? By means of index values. See, this is the structure of array. This array contains 5 values. The first value is stored in the first position, and then second position, third position, fourth position, and fifth position. So we have 5 positions, but the index value of the first value is default as 0. The index is always 0. It is a default value. So if you have n number of elements, means n minus 1 indices will be there. So what are the key nodes to be considered while declaring an array? The arrays have 0 as the first index. It is not 1, it is 0. In this example, mark of 0 is the first element. If the size of an array is n, then n minus 1 index is used. In this example, the last element is mark 4. Okay, so its index value is n minus 1. Suppose the starting address of mark 0 is 2120, then the address of the mark 1 will be 2124. So this is 2120. So the first element is stored in the address 2120. The next element is stored in the address 2124. So the difference of 4 bytes. So the difference is 4 bytes because it is a floating point. So for integer, it is 2 bytes. Okay. So 2 bytes of memory is stored. 2 bytes of memory is needed for storing the element in a particular memory cell. So for floating point, it is 4 bytes. For integer, it is 2 bytes. So how to initialize the arrays? There are different methods. In method 1, it is initialized as like this: data type, name of the array, then size of the array is given in the square bracket, and these 5 values are given directly. This is method 1. In method 2, the size is not given within the bracket. Okay, so directly the values are given So instead of giving 5 directly within the square bracket, the values alone are given. This is method 2. Here the size of the array has not been specified. However, the compiler knows it is 5. Its size is 5. How? Because we are initializing it with the 5 elements. As we have 5 elements here, the compiler knows the size of the array is 5. Okay. How to change the value of array elements? Suppose these are the elements stored in array mains. How to change a particular value? So int mark of 5 is equal to all the 5 values. Then make the value of third element to -1. So how to change third element means 1, 2, 3. Okay. But its index value is 2. So mark of 2 is equal to -1. Now the new value is -1. So if you display the content of array, it will be displayed as 19, 10, -1, 17 and 9. So similarly, you can change the value of any element within the array using index. The method 3, it gets the input from the user. So user defined input is given and the array elements are stored. First, it asks the user to enter the number of integers, number of values, and the user gives all the 5 values. And this command displays the values, all the 5 values one by one. So this is the third method which gets the input from the user. So using these 3 methods, we can follow any method to initialize the array. So the basic initialization will be like this. Int numbers of 5, the array size is 5. So 5 elements are here. When it is displayed, it will be looking like this. So 3 is stored in the first element, 7 is stored in the second, 12 is the third, 24 is the fourth, and 45 is the fifth. So this is the basic initialization. So initialization without size, as I told you, within the square bracket there will be no value. It is not specified, but instead the values are given here. So since 5 values are given, the compiler knows the size is 5. In partial initialization, you have declared the size of the array is 5, but you have given only 2 values. The remaining 3 values are filled with the zeros automatically. This is partial initialization. In the fourth type of initialization, if you want to make all the array elements as 0, then you can simply give an empty brace. So int the array name size is equal to empty. So empty means all the 1000 elements will be filled with the zeros. Hope you understood how to initialize the array. And this is the program to find the average of n numbers using array. Here we have an array, marks of 10. Then the user gives the number of elements as well as the number of the 5 values, and then all the values are summed up and it is divided by n. Then average is obtained and it is displayed. So this is a simple program to find out the average. Then here the array is declared. This is another example. Here the array is declared, initializing all the array elements, and it is printed. Okay, this is another simple program for getting the input, and using a for loop, the array is displayed. And this is a C program to store elements in an array and print them. Okay. Again, we are declaring the array for the size 10. Then the 10 elements are inputted, and using a for loop, it is displayed one by one with index. So element 0 means index value 0. element 0, 1, element 1, 1, element 2, 2. Okay, so the index value and the value which is stored in the index are same. So like that in the program we have given the statements. So this is a mere giving inputs and displaying the content. This is another C program to calculate the determinant of a 3 by 3 matrix. Whenever matrix operation is to be done, multidimensional arrays must be used. So here a multidimensional array is given. Int is the data type, ARR1 is the name of the array, and within the square bracket we have two square brackets, 10 and 10. It means that 10 rows and 10 columns, that is 100 elements may be given. And there is another variable det which is initialized as 0. Its data type is int. There is a for loop. So for I is equal to 0 and less than 3. So I is the row and j is the column. So 0 to 2. J is also from 0 to 2. So 0 is the first row and 0 is the first column. And using the for loop, it is incremented by 1 and all the elements will be stored in a tabular form. So this is another C program to calculate the determinant of a 3 by 3 matrix. So first in a tabular form all the values are obtained and then the determinant is found. So how to find the determinant value? For example, assume this is a 3 by 3 matrix. So 3 rows and 3 columns. So the determinant value is found as, take the first element, that is 0th row, 0th column. First element, the index A00, then 0 into 5, that is 0 minus 4 into 2, 8, minus the second one, 1 into, so we leave the first row and the second column, then cross multiply, 1 into 5, 5, minus 3 into 2, 6, plus, take the last element, 1 into, leave the first row and the last column. So 1 into 4, 4, minus 0. So 1 into minus 8 is minus 8. Here it is minus 1 into minus 1 plus 1. Here it is 4, 4 into 1, 4. That is minus 8 plus 5. That is minus 3. Okay. So this is the value of the determinant of a 3 by 3 matrix. So the program to calculate sum of array in C. So previously we discussed one example for calculating the sum as well as the average. The same program is given here. This is the C program to find the largest element. Now we will see the various array operations one by one. The different array operations are traverse, addition of element, deletion of element, reversing an array, sorting and searching. So first one, traverse. Traverse means if an array is given with the number of elements, one by one we are traversing the array. So first, this is the first element which is stored in index 0, and then we go to the next, we go to the next, next up to the last. So this is called traversing. Okay. So array is initialized. User enters the size as well as the elements. Using a for loop, the given elements are displayed as like this. So this is called traversing. There is printing all the array elements one by one. It's called traversing. The next program is for insertion of an element. So whenever a new value is inserted, obviously the other elements will be shifted one memory cell. Okay, so shifting is required whenever you want to delete or you want to insert an element in an array. So this is the program, C program. Here the size is 6, so the index value is from 0 to 5, and I want to insert 50. I want to insert a 50 at the third position or with the index 2. Okay, so 30 will be same, 20 will be same. Only thing, in the third position I am going to insert. Okay, the new value has to be inserted at the third position with the index value of 2. So when I am inserting, the other element should be shifted to the next cell. Okay, so already you have defined the size as 6. Okay, so another new memory cell is needed to store the shifted values. Okay, so this is called a variable length array. Okay, so at runtime it is a new cell is created so that the size of the arrays will be variable. So look at the program. So after entering value, new value to be inserted, a for loop is used. I size minus 1. Size minus 1 means size is 6, 6 minus 1, 5. Okay, so starting from this up to this. So I minus minus means you are decrementing the value. So starting from 5 up to 2, you are decrementing the I value and you are shifting. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 cells will be shifted, and obviously in the third position it will be empty. It will be a blank. In the blank cell, I am going to insert my new content. So what is the content? 50. 50 is inserted. Okay, so all other 4 elements 40, 60, 90, 80 will be shifted right. So this is the procedure for inserting a new element, and this is the C program for deletion of an element. Suppose I want to delete the second position value, that is its index is 1, 20 is stored in the position. I want to delete the element 20. Okay, so if you delete an element, obviously the other elements which are on the right side will be shifted before that. Okay, so 40 will be shifted here, 60 will be shifted here, 90 will be shifted here, 80 will be shifted here, and the last cell will be blank. Okay, so its content also is copied from the value, so it is also 80, but whenever you display up to this, okay, so we don't want to display the last element because it is also 80. So after deletion of an element, this will be your final content, 30, 40, 60, 90, 80. So that is why in this for loop we use C is less than n minus 1. So if you put n, it will consider this element also, last element also. But if you put n minus 1, so up to this it will consider and print. So that is the difference. C program for reversing the elements in an array. So very simple. Already we have discussed how to reverse an array.